You're right, people, Alex Mathers here. Thank you for tuning in to another video on this rather glum and rainy day here in Tbilisi in Georgia. This is a country in Eastern Europe. I've been here for a few months now, and I wanted to have a cozy one-to-one chat with you guys about this idea of understanding the importance of every single decision you make in the right now and how they link to your longer term goals, and how there's a lot of frustration around being motivated in the day-to-day and matching up your activities with longer term goals. And I think a lot of us, we put goals down in a moment of inspiration. We get all excited, whether that be for New Year's resolutions or throughout the year. We put goals down and we get excited about what could happen in the future. And then, life gets in the way. We start getting bombarded with the chaos and the flow and the resistances and the troubles and the challenges of life. And we get lost in that overwhelm, and we want to escape, and we fall into the traps of getting distracted and procrastinating, and our goals that we once were very excited about tend to fade away into the distance, and they become these blobs of nothingness, only to be rediscovered perhaps down the line in another moment of inspiration. But we always find this disconnect with everyday actions and doing things that take us closer to our goals and actually seeing those goals come to fruition. And I think everything changes when you start understanding the idea that there's a difference between how winners approach life and how losers approach life. And I'm not talking about losers in the sense that you're a loser, in a derogatory way. I'm talking about people who are either taking decisions that are moving forward towards their goals, towards freedom, and there are other people, of course, who take decisions that are either going to leave them static or falling behind. And of course, being in the neutral position and the static position is going to push you back in life. And that's why you feel this frustration. And that's why there's this disconnect between you not able to get to your goals because you're taking the wrong kinds of decisions. You're taking reactionary decisions, and you're taking decisions that are not addressing your goals head on. You're not doing things directly that are leading towards actually achieving your goals. And the way to get better at this is to understand the significance of every decision you make through the day. And the way to make this more real to you, despite all the oncoming chaos of life, is to ask yourself the question. This is what winners do. They ask themselves the question continually to bring them back in the present and to link the present moment decision making and present moment actions with their goals. You never lose track of your goals. You need to create this connect, this way of linking the future to the present, which is the only real moment that we have. And the best way to create the future right now is to ask ourselves the question, is what I'm doing moving me towards my goal? Is what I'm doing moving me towards my freedom? And a lot of people choose comfort over freedom. They kind of get reactionary, they want to escape, and they lose sight of the need to be free, which means that you lose sight of those important activities that are actually building freedom for you. And of course, many of those activities might not be very fun in the moment, but instead you choose to do the easier thing, which is to bow down to the troubles of life and choose the easy option because life seems so difficult. But when you ask yourselves these questions, is this moving me towards my goal? You start reminding yourself of what you're aiming for. You have a reason behind every action that you take. And things become much more tangible because you're just constantly reminding yourself over and over again with everything that you do. And I would recommend you try and get this question floating around in your head throughout the day. And you'll find that the day becomes much more productive. You find that you're able to squeeze a hell of a lot more into the day because every little action you take has meaning associated with it. When you ask yourself, is this moving me towards my goal, or is it moving me away from my goal and towards comfort? Now, when I say comfort, the odd comfort here and there is obviously a good thing. It's fine to reward yourself here and there. And I think it's important to treat comfort as a means to reward those good actions that you've taken that will move you towards your goals. But just to reiterate, I think a lot of us, we have that disconnect between what we do in the day, in the present moment, and our future goals, because we aren't adopting that mindset of a winner. We are adopting the mindset of a reactionary loser in that regard. And of course, we don't see the gains that we want because we are acting in a reactionary way that is disconnected from our goals. And we need to get interested again in seeing how we can tangibly bring our goals from a distant, untangible space to the present moment where we have control over those goals, and we can actually see ourselves in real time moving towards those goals. And we do that through asking ourselves the questions that winners ask themselves, which is, am I moving towards my goals? Is what I'm doing worth doing because it's moving me in the direction that I want to go? And if it's not, then you try and avoid those things. And as I said, obviously you want to enjoy some comforts here and there like I do, and obviously try and make those comforts rewards for previously, useful activities that you've done. The reason this topic came up was because somebody recently commented that they're having trouble getting motivated. They find that their goals keep eluding them, and they end up distracting themselves through Netflix and video games and that kind of stuff. And it got me thinking that in order to be someone of success, if you have goals of success and you want to be successful, you have to be successful today. You have to act like someone who is successful even before they have achieved those successes. So if you want to be a millionaire, you can't set the goal down, get excited about a goal, and then carry on with your everyday life thinking that goal is going to kind of move itself towards you closer and closer. No, you have to actually act in such a way that person with the £1 million would act in the present moment. And that means thinking like a winner right now. So undertaking successful habits, doing the kinds of things that rich people will do, even if you don't feel rich in any way and you're just surviving, you're just struggling. You still need to take actions and behave in such a way that these successful people do. And of course, that means asking yourself the question, am I doing what someone who would be getting £1 million in future would be doing right now? And if you're not, you have to kind of realign and shift your behavior. So I hope that made sense. I know this was a bit of a rambly free flow, but I wanted to just nail the point home of bringing the future into the present by asking questions about every single step-by-step activity you choose to work on at any given point. And it should link to that future goal. It should link to that future state of freedom over comfort. I think a lot of us are biased towards comfort and we end up staying stagnant because comfort doesn't lead to anything. Comfort is only a reward as opposed to a movement in the positive direction to where you want to go. So that really helps me, is asking myself the question, is what I'm doing right now going to move me towards my goals? Is it moving me towards freedom? Even if what I'm doing is painful, is unpleasant, I use this as a sort of measuring stick to guide my decisions. And as long as I keep doing that, and as long as I keep track and I keep my goals in mind right down to the present moment, a lot of things get done. I'm much more motivated to do stuff in life. I can literally feel the trajectory that I'm on, and I know that I'm moving towards the place that I want to be. And I'm already acting in such a way that I am there. Try and be that person who behaves like the person they want to be in future. If you don't behave like that person, if you aren't living successfully right now, even if it's the last thing you think you could do, you're never going to get to your goals because there's going to be that constant disconnect. You have to behave like the person who will get your goals, and you need to do the things that the person who gets that goal does right now. Goals are never ending. Goals really are not so much tangible end products. They are guidance points that show you how to behave today. That's kind of the point that I have finally ultimately ended on, is that the goals you write down for whatever it is, material objects or certain levels of income, are really just defining your behavior in the present moment. They are guides to your behavior. So if you've written a goal that says, I'm going to be earning $5 million a year by a certain date, you need to use that goal to define how you act right now. There's no laying off. There's no like tomorrow about these things. You have to start acting like a winner, acting like the kind of person who earns $5 million a year would act right now. What would they do? It should make you think. And the first question that should always be asked is what I'm doing leading me towards that goal? Is it the kind of thing that person would do? Hope that made sense, guys. Do send any comments below if that didn't make sense, or if you've got any questions about this. What are you working on? Always love to hear about what you guys are thinking about and doing. And do subscribe, do like this video if you liked it, and I will see you in the next video.
That's why I rarely let people at my job know I rap, cause that just turned to some circus like I'm an acrobat. And my coworkers are nosy and I'm missing hard. Can you do a rap at a job Christmas party? Hell